Hello, my name is Jon-Mikol, and today I want to talk about my photography journey. How I started, the in-between, and how I got to where I'm at now. It all starts back in 2015. For Christmas and my birthday combined, I asked my grandma for the Canon EOS Rebel T5i with the kit lens, of course. I made YouTube videos with that for the first around year, and after a year I decided I wanted to take photography a little bit more serious. So I ended up buying the Canon 50mm f1.8, and I started taking portraits of my friends. I started taking self-portraits, and I really enjoyed having that lens. Shortly after, I ended up getting the Canon 18mm, I believe, and that was so sick. I started using that for my YouTube. I started using it on trips as a wide-angle lens. I took it to Puerto Rico and it was awesome. I really enjoyed it. I have some photos on my Instagram that kind of show my photography journey. In around 2018, I believe, I bought a Polaroid. I bought the Polaroid OneStep 2. And I started shooting a few Polaroids of my family, my friends, and just life. Shortly after, I found this actor named Hart Denton, and his Instagram was really nice. I liked the way it was laid out. I liked the style of his photos, and I wasn't sure how he was taking them. So I started doing my research, and the closest thing that I could find for what I wanted was a disposable camera. So I started buying the Fujifilm disposable cameras at Walmart. I started shooting those. I took them to my local lab, just like 25 minutes away back in Orlando, and it was really nice. I shot disposables for a few months. Shortly after that, I got into shooting an SLR. I bought the Pentax K1000, and that was a complete game changer because I had never shot a manual camera. I wasn't sure how to expose photos properly. It's your typical story of learning how to use a camera and starting to get better photos. I believe my photos got better once I started scanning at home. I bought an Epson V600 and I started developing my film with a lab and then just scanning it at home. I think my photos just leveled up at that point. Before getting the Pentax K1000, I went to Arizona with my grandparents and my mom. We did a road trip from Arizona to Ohio, met my great-grandmother in Ohio, and she had a bunch of old cameras from her father and herself. She gave me a set of cameras. She gave me a Kodak Brownie Hawkeye, a Polaroid 600, it's right there. Actually, it's the OneStep 600. And I've shot that. It works. It's not perfect, but it works. I also got I think it's a Kodak Instamatic 30. I could be wrong. I got those cameras from her. I appreciate it. I love using them. It was really fun knowing that she used them. I've been able to see photos from my great-grandfather, and he was a killer photographer. Actually, no, he's my great-great-grandfather. His name's Forrest. And my great-grandmother, she was a killer photographer too. She went to Germany, she went to Africa, she went around a few places, and she took some awesome photos. I have a photo book with them in it. Let's continue on with the story. After shooting those cameras, shooting the Pentax K1000, I sold the Canon EOS Rebel T5i, my full kit. I sold that, and I ended up buying the Fujifilm X-T3 with a 23mm f1.4. Awesome setup, more than I needed, but I thought it was time for an upgrade. I used it, I made some killer photos with it. Great camera, not for me. I sold it before COVID started. After owning that for a bit, I ended up buying the Mamiya 645 Pro TL with the 80mm 1.9. I bought a AE Prism for it, so I had the meter in it. I also bought an extra back, so I had like a full setup for that camera. I love it. I ended up selling it. I sold the Mamiya 645 to a photographer out in Arizona. I also sold my Pentax K1000 to one of my buddies' girlfriend, Melanie. Now let's move on. The Mint Instant Con RF70. It is a instant film camera, fully manual. I am selling it if anybody's interested. I just don't shoot it enough. I've got some other cameras that I prioritize, and I don't want this one to be collecting dust. Shortly after buying that camera, I bought the Fujifilm X100V. Great photos, ended up selling it. You already know the reason. It's not for me. Somewhere in between everything I've been telling you, I believe it was after the Pentax K1000. Sorry for, stepping back. I bought the Yashica Samurai X3.0. I really like that camera. It has crazy zoom. Now, where am I at now, right? I am shooting on the Fujifilm Class S. It is a 35mm point and shoot. I am in love with that camera. I love that camera so much. And you're gonna see in my upcoming videos some rolls. We're gonna go through them, we're gonna break them down, we're gonna analyze the roll. It's gonna be a new series on the channel called Roll Analysis. Other than that, I am currently shooting the Pentax 6.7. Crazy that I own that. I don't think I ever thought I would. Love it. 6.7 is insane, dude. If you've never shot 6.7, do it. Find somebody who can lend you it. Buy one, whatever you gotta do, shoot 6.7. I think that's about it. I mean, I own a Nikon F3 HP with a 50mm 1.4. I'm currently running a test roll through it now. I'm really hopeful that I'm gonna like it. I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty darn in love with the Pentax 6.7 and the Fujifilm Class S. So wish the Nikon F3 some luck for me. That's where we're at now. I am currently in Greenville, South Carolina. I moved up here from Orlando, Florida 2 months ago, and I am in Greenville for another week and a half. After this, I'm gonna be moving up to Waynesville, North Carolina. I'm stoked to be shooting some film in the late fall, early winter over there in North Carolina. My current project is in the works. I am shooting from the date that I left Florida till the day that I leave Greenville. And I'm gonna try and put together a little project of that first 2 months and a half living with my fiance on our own, adulting. I started developing at home when I moved here, and I've developed around 23 rolls at home. It's been awesome. I actually brought a friend over, taught him how to develop. I recommend it if you've never done it. I'm gonna mainly release my stuff on here, and then you're gonna see it coming out on Instagram when I upload videos. If I make a roll analysis, you're gonna see some photos from that video on my Instagram so y'all can like zoom in and check everything out. I'm really inspired by Bray Hunziker right now. I really like the way he lays his stuff out. I like that he makes a video and he drops photos on Instagram. I think that's the way to be doing it right now. I don't think we should be unloading our stuff on Instagram. As Matt Day mentioned recently, who cares? Like, at the end of the day, really, who cares? I think the video really helps give context to our photography. That's it, y'all. I mean, thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments. Feel free to DM me. Let's chat. If you guys have channels, let me know. I would love to check them out. I'm subscribed to a lot of you guys here on YouTube, but I want to get to know some of y'all. If you're near Waynesville or Western North Carolina and you guys wanna get together, I know it's COVID times, but we can both mask up, hang out, take some photos. I'd be about it. Have a great rest of your day. Deuces.